Hello and welcome back to the T's and C's of Life podcast with Tanya and Claire.
We're back,
Do you recognise our voices?
It's been fucking ages.
I know, do you know what? Before I hit the record button there, I was like, shit, what do I say?
Yeah, and you do the intro, so I would just look at you and think it's just more of a gap. Just leaving a really long gap today. But nope.
Oh dear, we appreciate your patience and your love that you've been sending us, like wondering where the fuck it is that we've gone.
What happened?
Life has just been very, very, very busy, very complicated recently, and just quite challenging trying to make the time for this.
It really has.
We have decided, we had a chat about it, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a long time
ago as well. That we're, instead of like, we love doing it, and this is the thing, like when we hit record and you're sitting across the table from each other, it is amazing.
Yep.
But doing it weekly is just difficult. It's very difficult to try and fit it in. So we said that we would go to monthly, but monthly sounds a bit...
It does seem really far apart.
Oh, it does.
No.
I think you'll just have to take it as it comes.
I think that's probably the best way for us to go. We'll aim for more frequently.
Yeah.
But it does. It depends on life, doesn't it? It's just hard sometimes.
Yeah. Well, because we used to record on a Tuesday night. That was our time.
Yes.
And then that seemed to go... Because I took on a second job and I was like, I can't work on a Tuesday night because I record my podcast on a Tuesday night. She's like, ooh, you do a podcast? It's like, yes, I do. And then she wasn't interested beyond that. She wasn't like, oh, what is it? Or what's
rude.
Some people are just fucking rude when I think we're amazing.
Yes,
but yeah, it's just, I think things have just life has just gotten busy in general.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we're going to talk about today, wasn't it? We should do a little recap on what we've been doing. What have we been doing in the last little while?
I don't know.
There are no headlines. I think the headlines are what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shall we just jump into it?
Okay,
so what we wanted to talk about, or that challenging factor of making big, difficult life changes.
There's a few coming up, I think, for us both now, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Should we start with yours?
Go on then.
We're having a baby!
No, we are not. No, we are not. At all. Yeah, me and Claire. We've decided we've sacked off Sam and Trev. We're happier together. So fuck them off. Actually sounds really good.
It does sound very dreamy.
Like a good move forward.
Absolutely.
No, we're not having a baby. I am going to be moving house soon. So leaving the village, not moving far, realistically, hopefully just more closer to town. But it's weird because I think this is the longest I've been in one place, I think, since having the kids. So I would have been in like 9 years, which, look, it's home. It is. London will always be home, but this is now home. I'm very settled. The kids are settled, but we need to be closer to town for schools and everything else. So it will be great. But the first thing that everyone says to me when I say I'm moving, what about Claire?
Yeah.
I not live next to Claire. I dreamt about you last night. About moving. We were crying. And Connor gave me a kiss.
Oh.
Yeah, he was drawing a leaving picture for me.
Oh, that's really sweet.
And then he gave me a kiss. It will be... it's one of those things that I can't even think about fully yet, because you have settled me here. That's been why I think we've probably stayed as long as we have, because
we have built a little community with ourselves, haven't we?
Yeah. And it'll be, you can't beat us. Like, it's not, we'll meet other neighbours. We'll have neighbours. I've had neighbours in the past.
But they won't be the same.
They won't. Will they want to do a podcast? No. I'm
going to have to teach you how to use remote stuff.
You are, because I don't do it. I just turn up and talk shit. So, yeah, it'll be weird, and it'll be our first bought home, because we rent at the moment, and that is a very scary grown-up prospect, and I'm not ready for it. I'm in my 40s. I'm not ready to be a grown-up and own a house. If something goes wrong, we've got to fix that shit. I don't like that. I make a phone call and someone comes and does it. No, I can't be a grown-up. But, yeah. So
it's exciting though, but how have the kids taken it?
They are ready to go. Yeah, Charlie keeps saying, can we just move back to Croydon?
Okay.
No, we're not moving back to Croydon. But I think all their lives are in Maidstone for school. And that's a massive part. So for Boo, she's really looking forward to not having to wake up so early to get to school in the morning. So that's a big factor on where we're looking as well. But I think they're fine with it. Callum will be driving soon, so which is fucking weird. Charlie will be at Midkent College, so he'll be in Maidstone. As long as he's near a train station, that's all Charlie needs.
You've got such big life changes just coming up, and you're just totally taking it in your stride.
I think I am generally not a stressy person. Internally, my brain does do well. It's that going to sleep and you lie down and you're like, oh God, my brain, stop it. But I'm very optimistic in that everything that's coming is a positive move. So, and I always knew that 2022 was a year of move anyway. Kind of, it's always been like the last couple of years, and like that's when, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it then. Yeah. So I'm ready. I'm trying to get funding for part. Like this year, I feel like is a pivotal year in my grown-upness, which is really scary, but also really exciting. And I love Rightmove. It's the most fun that you can have. I'm going shopping for something very expensive. This is exciting. Although I do occasionally put in like £1 million. What can I buy for £1 million? Yeah. I haven't got I haven't even got close to it. But that's actually quite cheap. Generally it's about £3 million. Get some really nice houses. Not as nice as you'd think though on some of them, which is really surprising. But yeah, it's positive. It's good. Yeah. And thinking of moving.
Oh yeah, so thinking about I thought there was more to the story. So tell me more. I'm listening, boys.
No, I'm handing the baton.
Yeah, so Trev and I have made a huge life decision to move back to Scotland.
That's fucking mental.
No.
You're really leaving me.
Yeah. It's we very much this year was going to be our year for moving. Be that moving within Staplehurst, moving to buy a house within Staplehurst, or rather a matchbox in Staplehurst, or were we going to move further afield? Because I started thinking that I'd love to move and live in Wales. Like Wales is a really cool place. Yeah, really, really fantastic. But there was just this little niggling thing, and it's been niggling away inside me, and I haven't realised it, what it was and what it meant for as long as what it's been there for. Just not having family around. Like really, when I realised that was what I think I'm missing, I started looking around at my other friends and thinking, oh yeah, she's from Australia. Yeah, she's got her husband's family on the doorstep. Yeah, my other friend, her parents moved from London to Staplehurst to be closer to her. Yeah. All my other friends are within, or if they're not in the village with their family, then they've got family within
driving distance.
Yeah, an hour, less than an hour to their door. And we have nobody. Yeah. And it's just, I think as Trev and I, we've had like problems in our relationship like this year. And that's compounded with the fact that we don't have an out. Yeah. So like, if you're, you got your mum along going, oh, fuck off to your mum's house for a night or for 2 nights. Like that would diffuse the situation, whereas we have to fester in the cesspit of the anger and the frustration until we work through it.
And even the fact of having the built-in babysitters close so that you two can go and have a life and actually have fun without having to find someone reliable and then having to pay them and everything else. And it just, that family.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it was, the thing that really stands out to me was when I went to Bristol in February to visit my brother, and my sisters came down as well. And I remember my mum phoned me up that morning. She's like, oh, are you all excited? Are you all ready? Like, you all packed and ready to go? And I was like, what are you doing? Like, it sounds like you're driving. She's like, oh yeah, I'm just driving up to the Louises to pick up the kids. And I was like, so she not only has mum looking after the children this weekend, mum collects them from her.
Yeah, that's a bit of a touch.
Like, going right to the fucking house and picking them up from her door before Louise even gets to go on a plane. And I was like, oh, Mum's like, oh, I'm really sorry. You don't get, I know, she says, I feel so guilty for you, Claire. Just move back. Just move back. And like every time I've spoken to my mum, like in the last wee while, she's always been saying, you know, the house is there for you, Claire. Just move back. And I think it's just slowly been, like the first time she met to it, I was like, no, I'm not living next door to you. No way.
Well, see, you haven't explained that as well. So you're not only moving up the road.
Yeah, we're moving up the road, but we're also moving back to the farm. We're moving into my granny's house on the farm, which is
next door, but not really next door.
Yeah. So when you live in the country, next door is like fields apart.
Yeah, slightly different.
And next door is still, your neighbours are still miles apart as well. So yeah, my mum's house is like a 2-minute walk through the fields. And so for me, like that's because that's my childhood home. That's where I grew up. So I used to, or me and my sisters and Gregor, like would go over to my granny's, like, Granny, can we stay here tonight? And we'd go with our little carrier bag with our toothbrush and our knickers in it, and we'd go and we had our bedrooms there, and it was just amazing. We absolutely loved it. Like, and although as we got older as teenagers, like living on the farm kind of lost its edge because we wanted to be in the town with our friends. I had my horses, like I had my sisters, I had my granny next door. We had visitors all the time. Yeah. And I thrive on visitors. Like I need visitors to kind of fulfill me. And when I think back on just the freedom that we had, and there's the opportunity, like when Mum was saying it, she said, look, the house is there, Claire. It's there. If you want it, you can have it. And I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to be living in my granny's house. I don't know if I want to be living so close to my mum and dad. But I do know that I need my family close by. Yeah. And that is the perfect opportunity for us to move back comfortably. Well, like quadruple the size of our living space, like that.
But you can't.
I know. And do you know what? I've never ever felt in this house that we're overcrowded. I've never felt like it's too small. I've never felt like it's teeny tiny. I've always just loved this house. Yeah. But now that I know that I'm going to have to walk across the room to get to the other side of the kitchen, I'm fucking resenting my house.
Oh, really?
Oh, really resenting the kitchen. Trev and I were in there the other day just pottering about. I think he was making lunch and I was trying to put shopping away. And I was like, oh, God. We won't have to do this for much longer.
That's amazing. It's a very cool move.
It is, and it feels like a really cool move. Like I spoke to my brother the other day. He's in Florence, or he was in Florence at the time. He's doing a trip in his van conversion on his own, like in Europe, just for 2 weeks. Like the fucking pictures that he's been sending are absolutely just unbelievable.
I'd look at his pictures. I couldn't do it.
Anyway, he phoned me up. He was sitting in this town square in Florence, like pissed out of his head, drinking Italian wine. And so I hadn't told him because I didn't want to text him and tell him, but I told everybody else. And I told him and he just laughed. And he's like, you do realise that John and Pamela live next door? I was like, yes, I know.
Who's John and Pamela?
My mum and dad.
Oh. Okay. Right. Yep.
Are you ready for that? He said. Are you ready to live?
Ready for that?
Like, because I left home 21 years ago.
Wow.
21 years.
Yeah.
I've always been back and forth, but to be living, I've never lived on the
space.
Yeah.
You've got your own space. It's not like you're living with them. Like you said, it is your own house. And it will be annoying at points, I'm sure, because they always are. But it will also be lovely, I think, that to have family, even for us to move closer to town. That, in my head, that's closer to my mum, that's closer to my sister. Yeah. I don't want to be back in Croydon, but I want to be as close as you can get. Just because that is, like, we're very lucky. We have very good friends, but family is family. You can't give any family.
Family's first, isn't it?
Especially when you've got a family that you like most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And you'll be close to your sisters and the babies and the cousins.
I know, because that's it. I've got a new niece or nephew due this month. Yeah. It's going to be born this month.
If I look at how close the cousins are, so like it was Charlie's birthday last week and had all the cousins round, and they are obsessed with each other. They message each other all the time. They are constantly just trying to get to each other. And they're all within a distance that they can slightly get to each other. And it's just lovely. For me to watch that, because I'm very close with my siblings and I'm very close with a lot of my cousins still, because we've always been able to see each other growing up. And I just think how weird that must be, because I know the difference in just being that little bit further away. Like sometimes Stacey and Leon will go out and I'm like, you can't go out without me. Not fair. But I could go if I really wanted to. I'm just lazy. But to not even have that as a full option, I'm like,
Yeah.
That's
it is really weird. And I think as my nieces and nephews have gotten older, I think they're spending more time together. They're doing more stuff. And I'm very aware that I'm missing out because it's the kind of a thing that, because they're always saying to me, oh, we wish you were here, and oh, I feel really bad that you're not involved. And I never really used to miss it, and I truly didn't. Like 2 years ago in the summer, we went home during the first lockdown for like our summer holidays, we always do. And I remember the first time in all the years, so I've been here for 13 years, I've lived in Kent, and that was the first time that I'd thought, like looking around, because it was a really nice sunny day and it's very beautiful on a sunny day, thinking, maybe I could, to have, like watching the kids playing together, like to have that, not necessarily every weekend, but whenever I wanted it. Yeah. And that kind of planted the seed. And kind of Trev and I have kind of discussed it, like, oh, it's not off the table, but it's not on the table. Like we wanted to be
outright been like,
no, totally,
not going back. And Absolutely. It has been, and I've even noticed the last few years, it's been more of a talk of home.
Yeah. So we're looking loosely. It's going to be at the end of the year, so either kind of November, December, January. If it's not November, well, say end of October, but it'll be the beginning of November that the kids would start school. It will be January. It just depends on schooling, housing, just getting everything kind of sorted out. So it still feels like ages away. Like when you first started saying that you were going to be moving, you were going to be out, we were going to be away from our little nest by the 1st of August. And February, that felt like fucking months away. And now I'm talking about October, November, and it feels months away. But it's May. This is my birthday month. Seriously. This month, and
it's going to come round very quickly. It does. It's just, you think I think I always look at like school holidays. I think we've got the May half term again soon, and then it won't be long to the summer holidays, and then so that's me gone. So then you think it's only another half term, really getting into the October bit, and then it moves. Time moves very, very quickly. But it's long enough for us to cry a lot.
Well, so we were at it was Tanya's, one of her boys' 16th birthday a couple of weekends ago, and Sam, like, I don't know how he does it. Because even when we were thinking about moving around the corner like a couple of years ago, you had me greeting out the front, fucking bawling my eyes out.
It is. You two must have a bond that he likes to manipulate and make you cry. But they both stood in the kitchen crying for about half hour. It was a really long time.
Like, me and my friend Joe was like, why are my eyes so puffy?
It was proper crying as well, not just like a holding together cry. It was a bawling. And I was like, I've drunk way too much to get involved in this.
I don't remember it at all. I really don't remember it.
I don't even know what he said, because I think I came in late to the conversation and just could hear just wailing. And I was like, oh, dear God, I'm going to go and sit in there. But no, there'll be, I think, I know I will cry when it gets to it, because it's massive. It is, like I said, 9 years I've been here. Yeah. And we became close very quickly. And it's, like we said, we struggle to find time to do the podcast. We don't see each other all the time, but it's that just knowing.
But knowing that you can,
yeah, I could if I ever wanted to.
If your car's there, well, you're home.
Yeah.
So, but it's quite nice. Oh, she's there.
She's home. I do that. I do that. If I'm putting something, oh no, Claire's at home. It's just, and it's that little comfort. Yeah. Like if I did need something, how am I going to cope with gravy?
Yeah, I know.
I'm genuinely going to have to buy like 20 boxes. I don't even know what box. Packet, whatever they come in, of gravy and milk and butter and everything else that I know. Coleslaw.
Yeah.
See? I'm going to be fucked. Genuinely fucked.
But it's, you know, it's funny how these things come around,
Yeah.
and it does, like, they talk about synchronicities and things falling into place, and I do, like, absolutely 100% believe that.
Yeah.
But, like, this time last year, if somebody said to me, oh, this will be your last summer on Bathurst Road, I would have maybe believed them, but not my last summer in Staplehurst. Absolutely not, because the thought of moving away from Staple, it wasn't even on the cards. And when I think of all, like, the compounding events that have kind of contributed towards that decision being an okay decision, it feels like a safe decision, it feels like a really good, positive. I was speaking to a friend up the road who was because I was kind of like, my kids will be going to my schools, like my primary school, my secondary school. So it'll be quite strange seeing them going off and, like,
in your little uniform.
Well, the uniform has changed now, fuck. But yeah, so I messaged her and I said, look, I'm really, like, because 3 of the teachers that were my teachers are still in the school.
Shut up.
My woodwork teacher, my English teacher. She wasn't my maths teacher, but she was one of the maths teachers.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
That's mental.
Unless the names are same, but it's different people.
No, it's unlikely.
But they're the same departments.
Wow.
I know.
That's nuts, isn't it? But then I suppose as well, when you think that they could have been fairly young when you was there, but
Mr.
everyone's
McGugan
old.
wasn't.
Or was he not?
No. Well, I never thought of him as being
Young.
He was quite a bossy, grumpy man.
Yeah.
But,
That's nice.
He was a good teacher. He was a really good teacher. And I love... Yeah, woodwork, so tech.
Is that why you love woodwork?
Yeah. Yeah, because we really got really good lessons on woodwork, and I really, really, really loved it. Even as a kid, like, my mum and dad would have work done in the house by our local joiner, and he would come around, and I would just sit and stare at him. I would just watch.
Really?
I'd watch him planing wood and thinking, oh my God, that looks like the most amazing thing in the world. And I watch him do it, like, fixing things and repair and building things in the house. And I just thought it was the most amazing thing to be able to do with your hands. I loved it. And not that I'm by any means good at it, but I do like doing it.
Yeah, I think our woodwork teacher, I think one was a paedophile. I don't know if it's proven, but he was definitely a paedophile. That's awful. I've just said that. He was a bit pervy.
Well, you haven't said his name, so it's fine.
And he was a proper perv. And then the other one, he was lovely, but he was just a bit shit.
Okay.
So, really nice dude. Everyone loved him, but I don't think he was that interested in teaching girls how to use wood, really. Okay. So we didn't often.
Yeah.
No, we just sit and talk shit, which...
It's funny.
Become my life.
Well, I just had a little moment there as you were talking, like, I'm going to have a workshop. I'll have my dad's workshop that I could use.
You can make stuff. So when we come up for your May party, then you can make, well, not that you don't make shit now.
I'll have built a hut, and it'll be standing, it'll be level. Yes, absolutely. Yep, totally. That would be amazing.
See, but we are... I have been wanting to go to Scotland for
this is what kind of makes it easier, is knowing that so many people I've had conversations with over the years have been like, oh, I'd love to go to Scotland, but, you know, they just don't. But when it's your friend, you'll go and visit. Yeah.
And it is. And I know you've got the space. I know you live somewhere that's pretty. So it's a worthwhile journey. Yeah. No, I will fly. I'm not driving. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But the airport's not that far.
Yeah, I'm not driving for 20 million hours or whatever it is. I've not got that in me. But no, definitely. And it is. It's going to be weird. I think it's all fresh starts. But we are very lucky, and I think, like, now the last few years have shown us that virtual stuff, like we said, we can still do the podcast. Yeah. We can virtually work. I don't leave my house because I work from home. Yeah. So we've got that as an option. It's not like, even when I first moved, I used to drive back to Croydon like twice a week. So it was like, I just miss everyone. Whereas I could have, like, now, couldn't be asked, but I could FaceTime them. Things like that you didn't have that as a proper option. Yeah. So we are lucky with that.
Definitely.
That we're spreading out around.
It's funny because you think changes, like, that's a huge, like, making a move or making a kind of huge move like that is such a large part in your life. But we make changes to our day-to-day all the time, and it's just sometimes, like, that can be, like, even just changing the channels. like your Sky subscription or something, like removing, and all of a sudden you can't turn onto that channel. It's like, oh God, like the discomfort of not having that
weird.
familiarity.
I still try and look on the movie channel. They're not there.
301, fucking one of these days is going to work.
You're just going to put it on for me. Fuck it, I don't have to pay them. It is. Change is hard. Like I don't struggle externally, I suppose, with change. But internally, I've got a lot of lists at the minute. That is what keeps me going. I've got lists for lists at the minute of what I need to get rid of for the house, what I need to tidy up in my old house, what I want in a new house, what I need to buy. Like Pinterest, I live on Pinterest. So it is that I think I get excited by change, and that's probably why I've moved. I used to move fairly frequently. It felt like every 3 years I'd be like, okay, let's do this again, because I like a fresh start. I like something to look forward to. So I'm kind of mostly excited. It is just more the stress of finding a home that works.
Yeah, especially when you're buying as well, because it is quite decisive, isn't it? Like that element for me has been completely removed because there is a house for me to move into.
It's kind of, it's just a given. Yeah. And it's amazing how you get so used to the space that you live in and you need what you need. And actually houses, there's loads of houses on at the moment. The housing market is very expensive, but there's lots coming up, but they're just not right. And it's such a big investment. It needs to be at least like 80-90% right. We know we've got to make a compromise, but it's hard. It's really difficult, and you have moments where you get really downhearted of like, there's fucking nothing out there that's going to work that we can live in, or we're going to have to just go and live in somewhere shit until we can get somewhere bigger, and I'm not prepared to do that at all. I'm too spoilt for that shit.
Yeah. It's I mean, that was one of the reasons why we decided to just give up living down here, just being priced out of the market entirely. I mean, yes, there's like shared ownership and help to buy schemes and things, but I think I've been resisting it because I don't actually want to do that. The reason we've stayed in this house is because of what you see out that windows there. Nothing. Fields, trees. I don't want to look into some other cunt's house. I do not want to do that.
No.
I didn't grow up with that. I grew up with fields and
even
space
for me,
and
I
trees.
find it very strange obviously I grew up in London and my road, I think, although my road next to my house was an allotment, so there was nothing. It was, I've always had a relative amount of space, but now moving back into pretty much the heart of Maidstone, so proper built up area, I'm finding it quite weird to get my head around, because I'm a bit like, but we don't live like that anymore.
People.
No, they're everywhere. Like, people can see I genuinely look on Rightmove and like, people can see in my garden. But I'm like, well, you're in the fucking middle of Maidstone. Of course they can see in your garden. But it's getting used to that again. And that is what I think our lives do need now, to be more central. Because the kids are getting older and they are out till all hours. But it's a faff to get back to Stapler sometimes for some of them. So, but I am going to miss the field. Like, we took the dogs in there. We haven't been in there for ages with the dogs. And it's lovely. I'd forgotten how we live in a really nice place. Like, besides the fucking racist graffiti, but that's a whole other story. But besides that it's lovely over there. You could walk for miles, and on a lovely day, it's just dogs roaming. It was lovely, but
it's time for change.
It's time for change. Yeah. Time to listen to people beeping their horns and sirens again. It'll feel like I'm back in fucking London, which is nice. I love London.
You'll not hear it as much.
No, it won't be as bad as it. Like, in saying that, we've generally lived in quite quiet places, but I can zone out anyone when I want to. So I'm very good at it. It's a skill. Sam talks to me sometimes like, I have no idea what you've just said. I wasn't listening at all. No, it's fine. But it'll be good. It will be good. And I will find a garden big enough for your tent so that you can then come back and pitch up and stay. Yeah. And we've got so we have got your last birthday in this house, and Claire's birthdays. I think we've talked about them before. They're kind of that's what we look forward to in the year.
It's an annual party.
That's it. It is. We do get and it is. This year, Claire was adamant that oh, I want to do something different.
Yeah. This was before we knew that we were moving.
Yes.
So we were going to do a wine tour, a wine wine
very
tasting
classy.
tour. I know. Daytime drinking on a Sunday.
Yeah, basically, yeah. A very early wine tour. It's like half 10.
I know, that's only because the later ones were booked up.
Yeah, just because you want the alcohol at 10 o'clock in the
Well,
morning.
yeah, there is
Nearly
that
true.
as well.
No, yeah. Yeah, and then that didn't work. Zorbing, he talks about. That I was never going to get in a Zorb. Like, fuck that shit. No. And then we was just going to go to the Spoons.
Yeah. And then it was
Downclassed a lot. Wine tasting, Wetherspoons. Well, you know. And now we're back in our garden.
Yep.
And I can't wait.
Fire, flags,
Yay!
colour, outfits.
Punch and
Yep.
Sambuca jelly shots.
Yeah, no. Just keep Sam away from me.
I will. We'll sit him in a corner with Trev.
Oh,
Well, it won't
dear.
last long. Two of them will get too pissed. But no, and that will be like our, it won't be our main send off, because obviously we will do.
We'll have more garden parties, but
Yeah.
that is our annual garden party that's been in the calendar now for the last 7 years, probably.
Yeah.
8
It has,
years.
I think, yeah, it must be. When was your, how old are you?
I'll be 38 this month.
Okay, so I missed your 30th.
Yeah, so the
But from
30th
that
was
to
our
your
first.
31st.
Oh, so you came to my 31st? Yeah, so
Yeah.
from my 30th was the
Your
first
first one.
garden party that we
Yeah,
had.
I was in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, because I did invite you, didn't I?
you did. Yeah, because we'd not.
Was it like, well, you invited me out for lunch?
2014.
I was like, yeah, no, was that to the right person?
Yeah, you're not really texting me, making me work for it. You're like, thanks for that. Honestly, I'm so surprised that I continued that conversation, because that's not like me. Because obviously in Peggy mode,
Funny.
like, yeah, no, I'm going to push through with this. For fuck's sake. No, but we'll be back anyway.
Yeah, we'll
Obviously,
keep
we're gonna
keep up
going.
with.
We're gonna we'll try and record another one this year. We'll fit it
Maybe
in.
when we're not living at the same postcode, that we will be able to schedule it into our diaries, and it will be solid.
Yes.
Like we'll be able to
Yeah.
get the tech if I don't jump through the screen and strangle you because you're like, I don't know which fucking button to press.
That will happen. You'll have to drive down, set my computer up and drive back. That'll be fine. No, it'll be good. But no, we've got a little while before either of us are going anywhere. So we will record.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's lovely to be. I do love doing
It's
the
always
podcast.
fun.
It is like our little stress reliever.
Yeah.
No, and I do notice when it's gone. I'm like, no.
Yeah. And you know, this is our mental health awareness week as well. So
Yes, it is mental health awareness week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is.
doing things that fill your heart with joy, make your heart sing.
Yeah, and that is, we continue that. But yeah, if there's any themes or anything that you do want us to talk about, because we did try beforehand, we were like, I don't know, I can't remember what we do. So yeah, please hit us up and say hello. And
I do love that. Back, baby. Right, I love you. Bye.
Bye.